Entire history of the Euros. This is what the Euros were like over half a century ago, and this is what the Euros look like today. So, how did we get to the second most watched football tournament in the world with over 600 million viewers? Well, the Euros officially started 66 years ago back in 1958. But before that, you should know that regional tournaments for national teams have been going on all the way back since 1883. There was the British Home Championship, which was an annual competition contested between the four national teams of the United Kingdom: England, Scotland, Wales, and Ireland. This was the most important international tournament for the UK nations until these teams entered the FIFA World Cup in 1950. Likewise, the Central Europe International Cup, which ran from 1927 to 1960, held just 6 teams. The participants were Austria, Hungary, Italy, Czechoslovakia, Switzerland, and Yugoslavia. Each of these tournaments was the most important competition held by their respective nations, but none were able to stand the test of time until the creation of a pan-European football tournament. The idea was initially proposed by the French Football Federation's Secretary-General, Henri Delaunay, in 1927, but the competition didn't start until 1958, 3 years after Henri's death. In honor of Delaunay, the Champions Trophy is named after him. But before getting to the format widely used today, the Euros competition went through several changes over the years. The 1960 tournament, which was held in France, started with a total of 17 teams, with just 4 competing in the finals. The competition was won by the Soviet Union, who defeated Yugoslavia 2-1 in a very tough final in Paris. The tournament had several controversies as well, like Spain withdrawing from its quarter-final match against the Soviet Union because of political protests and notable absentees in the form of England, the Netherlands, West Germany, and Italy. Simply put, it was far from perfect. The next tournament was held by Spain in 1964. By then, there was an increase in entries to the qualification tournament, with 29 countries participating. This time, West Germany was not present once again, and Greece withdrew after they were squared up against Albania, with whom they were still at war. Spain lifted the trophy by defeating the previous champions, the Soviet Union, 2-1 at the Santiago Bernabéu Stadium in Madrid. The format held for the 1968 tournament, which was hosted and won by Italy. The tournament was growing increasingly popular and had more teams than the previous ones, as a total of 31 countries entered the competition. Due to the absence of extra time and penalties, a match was decided for the first and only time with a coin toss. This was the semi-final between Italy and the Soviet Union. After the match ended in a draw, Italy advanced and went on to face Yugoslavia in the final, and it ended in a 1-1 draw as well. This forced a replay of the match, which Italy went on to win 2-0. The 1972 tournament was hosted by Belgium, in which West Germany participated for the first time. 2 goals from Gerd Müller and 1 from Herbert Wimmer gave West Germany the trophy, beating the Soviet Union 3-0 at the Heysel Stadium in Brussels. Talk about making an entrance. The 1976 tournament in Yugoslavia ushered in a lot of new changes. It was the last 4-team finals tournament in the competition's history, and the last in which the host nation got an automatic qualification. Czechoslovakia faced West Germany in the final, and the match ended in a full-time draw. This led to the newly introduced penalty shootout, which brought about an audacious spot kick that went down in history. 7 penalties went in a row until Germany missed their 4th, and Czechoslovakia had a chance to win it with their final kick of the game. That responsibility fell to Czechoslovakian Antonin Panenka, who converted with a ridiculous chip shot that was later described by UEFA as perhaps the most famous spot kick of all time. The famous spot kick sent a ripple throughout the footballing universe, and today that style of shooting a penalty is known as the Panenka. From the 1980 edition of the tournament to the present one, the Euros went through a series of changes. Euro 1980 came with a new format. It involved a group stage, with the winners of the group progressing to the final and the runners-up playing in the third-place playoff. It was hosted by Italy, and West Germany won the tournament and their second European title in the process by beating Belgium 2-1 in the final. The 1984 tournament was held and won by France, with their captain Michel Platini scoring 9 goals in 5 games to help the French win their first major title. The competition went through a few changes as well, as the top 2 teams in each group progressed to the semifinals instead of the winners going straight to the finals. This meant the third-place playoff was cancelled. West Germany hosted UEFA Euro 1988, but failed to win the tournament after they were knocked out in the semi-finals 2-1 by the Netherlands. It didn't help that the 2 countries were on bad terms, so this victory sparked vigorous celebrations in the Netherlands. Adding salt to the injury, the Netherlands went on to win the tournament by beating the Soviet Union 2-0 at the Olympia Stadium in Munich. UEFA Euro 1992 happened in Sweden, and the cup was lifted by Denmark, who only participated in the finals after the United Nations sanctions prevented Yugoslavia's participation due to some of the states constituting the Socialist Federal Republic of Yugoslavia being at war with each other. Denmark knocked out the Netherlands on penalties in the semi-finals and defeated world champions Germany in the final. This was the first tournament in which a unified Germany took part and the first major competition where the players' names were printed on the back. By the way, if you're enjoying the video so far, please like and subscribe to our channel and turn on that notification bell as we get back to the video. Fast forward to 1996, the Euros was hosted by England and would see the number of teams participating double to 16. The 1996 Euros tournament had all kinds of drama. Firstly, England was knocked out on penalties by Germany in the semi-finals in a déjà vu kind of moment of the 1990s FIFA World Cup. Then we witnessed a dark horse performance by the newly formed Czech Republic, participating in its first international competition following the dissolution of Czechoslovakia, where they reached the final after beating Portugal and France in the knockout stages. Germany went on to win the final 2-1, thanks to the first golden goal ever in a major tournament. Brief history lesson. A golden goal was introduced in 1993 and is a type of sudden death contest where, if a match ends in a full-time draw, the team that scores the goal or point during extra time is declared the winner. It's not just used in football, but in all kinds of major sports like rugby, lacrosse, field hockey, and ice hockey. UEFA Euro 2000 was the first tournament to be hosted by 2 countries, the Netherlands and Belgium. The hype was on France, who were the reigning World Cup champions, and they delivered after coming down from 1-0 to beat Italy 2-1 in extra time. Sylvain Wiltord equalized for France in the last minute of regular time, and David Trezeguet scored the winning goal in extra time. UEFA Euro 2004 was an embodiment of controversy and drama. It produced one of the biggest football upsets of all time. Greece, who had only qualified for 1 World Cup in 1994 and 1 European Championship in 1980 before, had one of the most remarkable dark horse stories of all time. Before the tournament began, the Greeks were given the odds of 151 to win, making them the second least likely team to lift the cup after Latvia. Their road to the final featured a victory against France and another against the Czech Republic, with the help of a silver goal in the knockout stage before beating Portugal 1-0 in the final. By the way, a silver goal is like a golden goal, but instead of the winner being decided by the first goal of extra time, the silver goal meant the other team had about 15 minutes to equalize if the first team scored within the first 15 minutes of extra time. The 2008 Euros was hosted by Austria and Switzerland, making it the second time that 2 nations co-hosted and the first edition where the new trophy was awarded. Spain won by beating Germany 1-0 in the final, making it their first title since 1964. They finished as the highest-scoring team with 12 goals and swept major awards, like David Villa winning the top scorer and Xavi winning the player of the tournament. The team of the tournament also featured 9 Spanish players. In 2012, the Euros was co-hosted by Poland and Ukraine, with Spain lifting the trophy once again after beating Italy 4-0 in the final, making them the first nation to defend a European Championship title and the first European team to win 3 consecutive major tournaments after they won the 2010 FIFA World Cup. After the Football Association of Ireland and the Scottish Football Association suggested the expansion of the tournament to 24 teams in 2007, it was put to a vote. Out of the 54 member associations of UEFA, only 3, including England and Germany, opposed the expansion. So on the 28th of May 2010, UEFA announced that the Euro 2016 would be hosted by France, making it their 3rd time, and would feature 24 teams in the finals. Portugal, who finished 3rd in the group stages, went on to lift the trophy by defeating heavily favored France 1-0 in the final, thanks to a header from Eder in the 109th minute. This was Portugal's first major trophy in their history. For the 2020 Euros, after a series of bids from several countries, UEFA announced that the tournament would be hosted in several cities across Europe, with the semi-finals and final happening in London. Euro 2020 was moved to 2021 due to COVID-19, and Italy lifted their 2nd European Championship by beating England 3-2 on penalties. You'll all have to wait and see who will lift the Euros 2024 trophy. But until then, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.